Podcast.
Hey everybody, Ola aka Chalkone from Battlefield Podcast here with Tim aka Darkness429. And Tim, today we're going to talk a little bit about the Commander mode in Battlefield 4 that we saw at E3.
Yay, it's back.
It is back. Being veterans of Battlefield 2, this was something that a lot of us had asked for, hoped for, wished for. And they've really given it an upgrade from the looks of it for Battlefield 4.
This is not the Battlefield 2 Commander that we came to know and love. This is Commander mode 2.0.
Yes. So there's a lot of, first of all, I think the very first thing that they kind of showed off was that you can play Commander on a tablet. It doesn't look like you have to be in the game. You can probably do it on Battlelog or somewhere on a computer, or you can do it on your mobile device, which that alone is totally new. So that's kind of cool.
Right. The way that they haven't shown how you become the commander or how you are put into a game as the commander. It'll be very interesting to see in the next couple of days as E3 progresses, or even the next few months as we learn more and more about Battlefield, as to how the commander role is given to a Battlefield player.
Yeah, and whether you actually take up one of the 64 player slots in the game or not, you know, we don't know yet. But let's talk about what actually happens. So the commander has an overview of the entire battlefield, sort of a top-down view. You see all your squads that are listed on the right-hand side. You seem to have, obviously, the score on the left, but there's also different levels that Carl Magnus in the official trailer talks about. Sorry, it wasn't Carl Magnus, it was Lars Gustafsson, talks about what those are. So it sounds like you have surveillance, so you got UAVs, two different versions, scan that obviously shows enemy positions, and an EMP one that probably acts sort of like a counter UAV. Maybe it scrambles enemy minimaps or something.
Yeah. Commander mode seems to be the way that they're portraying it as a good game of chess. It seems like you are not only controlling your, dare I say, pawns, but at the same time you're trying to counteract what the opposing commander is doing. So if he puts down a UAV and you have a squad that's trying to go and capture a flag, and you see his little UAV flying around, you're going to want to counteract that UAV and have the potential of disabling that UAV, and then maybe even disrupting the opposing squad's mini-maps so that they can't see where the opposing squad members are at.
Then you have some offensive capabilities. We see in a couple of places that you can call in for a gunship. And as we saw in the multiplayer trailer already, you can launch cruise missiles.
Right. In another level that he talks about is a defensive axe. You can, what it seems to be like we saw in Battlefield 2, you had supply drops and vehicle drops. So if a squad is getting low on ammo, you can drop it down and heal them up and give them ammo. If they need to get out of a hairy situation and get out of there quickly, you can drop down a friendly Jeep, or maybe even like we see in Battlefield 3, can do an IFV drop.
What's interesting and different from previous commander modes is that you just don't have all these tools at your disposal to begin with. They put a lot of emphasis on the fact that your team has to work well for you to get these. So from the looks of it, you know, like how in Armored Kill, you have to hold a certain flag to have the gunship. This seems similar. You have to have control of certain flags to, I guess, unlock the cruise missiles, and perhaps arguably this could mean that the other team does not have access to that at that time as well. So,
which is what it seems like in this video. It seems like a good way to reward and or punish the commander. If his squad is not working the way that they're supposed to and not listening to his commands, he's going to get punished. He's not going to be able to use the AC-130 or the Tomahawk missile or other perks that he has as the commander to his ability. I also like in the commander view, you get these live feeds. You have in real time what the squad leader is seeing, what your UAV is seeing, and then you also get an overview of what's going on the flag that you click on, either at Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, etc. So that is a really cool way for you to strategize your next move and to communicate with your fellow players.
It is really cool to have that, and I guess that you can see that their aim was to redesign commander mode to get rid of some of the problems we had in the past. Some commanders would not do anything to support the team. Some commanders would just abuse artillery and rack up the points and frustrate the enemy beyond what's sort of reasonable within the game. So the fact that the other team has the ability to impact what the opposing commander has access to kind of makes it a little bit more of an even playing field. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Like we saw in Battlefield 2, like you emphasized on, the commander right away had everything. It had a short cooldown period and a recharge time at the beginning of the match until you could launch artillery. But once you had it, you had it. If an enemy destroyed it, you just repaired it, and there it was again. There wasn't this tug-of-war system that we're starting to see now. And I think that DICE has finally hit the nail on the head when it comes to teamwork. These squad perks, these commander perks, all of this the system they've built on with rewarding the player for doing a good job is a lot better than just giving them an extra set of points for their overall score. I think giving them individual perks throughout the round will improve on gameplay as a whole for Battlefield.
Now, there's a lot of questions that we still haven't got answered, obviously. So, for example, how do you communicate with the squads? We don't know if there's in-game VoIP. Obviously, there's going to be things like issuing commands. That's probably fairly straightforward. But how the communication's going to work, especially for somebody who may be playing this on a tablet, that's going to be interesting to find out. I do like the overview, though. It is really cool, like you mentioned, with the little mini-cam feeds. And just, it feels like you have more of a feel for what's going on with your team, which really, as a commander, you have to have.
It has a better integration feel to it, and at the same time, it has a more realistic feel to it. It actually has this feel that you're sitting inside a command post somewhere, issuing commands like they do in real battles, like how they do overseas, and how command centers here in the United States are talking to people over in Afghanistan or over in Iraq. So giving this this feel of actual battle is just enhancing the Battlefield experience that much more.
And I like the term that you used, Tim, the tug of war, because you do actually see the commander score for your team and the other team in the commander screen. So it really is a bit of a, what I have, you can't have, and vice versa. You know, I really want the gunship, so I really am going to focus all my squads on that one flag. It's going to be great to see, and I'm sure we're going to find out more about Commander very soon. I, for one, am looking forward to this a lot. I know you want to buy a tablet already, but we'll find out more soon. Let us know in the comments what you think about Battlefield 4 Commander Mode.